Joining us now for analysis is Steve Wesley, founder and managing partner of the Wesley Group. So Tesla's been on a run this week. First, I should thank you for joining us. The stock is higher once again today. What do you make of what's gone on here? Has Tesla turned a corner?
Well, look, it's a fascinating story here because they've posted better than expected results, 440,000 cars, up about 15% from last quarter. But the big picture is still Tesla's growth has slowed from 71% in 2021, 51% in 2022, down to 19% last year, and they may be negative growth this year. So the stock's been down 30% for the year, and they've lost 700 billion in value since 2021. So why is the stock going up? Well, a little bit's the uptick, but I think what's really going on here is investors are pleased to see the energy storage division taking off. And this is basically large gigapacks that have more than doubled from 4 gigawatts to 9 gigawatts. The punchline here is Tesla's energy division could be 15 to 20% of the company's entire revenues this year. And what investors, I think, are starting to see is Tesla's more than just an electric car company. They're an energy company. They're an AI company. They could be truly enormous.
Okay, let's talk about some cross currents that Tesla has in front of it. There's pluses and minuses it's facing when you think about its positioning overseas. In China, it has a lot of competition from the electric vehicle companies there. There's been this price war that's going on there. But there's a headline today that a local government there in China has included the Model Y among its list of vehicles it can buy as a service car. And that, again, that's been one of the things that's been helpful to Chinese automakers is the access to, the government and government subsidies. On the flip side, you also have Tesla. There's a report, according to Bloomberg, saying that it's not expected to proceed with its planned investment in India anytime soon. So what do you make of its positioning overseas?
Well, I think cross currents is the key word. Look, they've done something no one dreamed. Their Model 3, Model Y, best-selling car in the world, electric or gas, and they've done that largely through extraordinary growth in China and in Europe. The big story for the last 6-12 months has been BYD is coming on at such an extraordinary rate, really winning foreign markets, especially Southeast Asia, China, going to South America quickly. And what you're seeing is kind of a bifurcation where Tesla is owning the top end of the EV market, BYD and the others perhaps owning the bottom end. But I think the big picture here is Tesla and BYD are still kings of the EV market. EVs are going faster than ever, not slower, as many have said. You're going to see close to 50% of all cars sold in the world being electric within the next 5 years. And now on top of that, you've got the news that Tesla's not only still holding on pretty well in the EV market that's growing, but they're taking over this energy market. Elon Musk has said he wants to turn Tesla into the world's largest utility. That would be a big story if you can pull that off.
Yeah, that would be a big story if he can pull that off, the world's largest utility. I mean, one of the things that is said about Tesla is, as you kind of alluded to this earlier, right? It's not just a car company, it's not just an EV maker, because it has a huge swath of data because it's an electric vehicle. When you think about kind of the road ahead for Tesla, pardon the pun, that was unintended. Is it about it becoming an AI company from your point of view?
It's going to be a car company, an energy company, and an AI company. And lots of people have talked about AI, and I want to come back to that in a minute. First, energy is the part that's booming. To go from selling 4 gigawatts of energy, and this is largely from their plant in Lathrop, California, which is just launched in full production now, to 9 gigawatts is a big, big deal. I believe they will deliver as much as $15 to $20 million in the energy division. And if people are wondering, what the heck is that? It used to be solar panels on the roof. That's just a teeny part of it. A lot of people are familiar with the power walls. A lot of people have those in their garage and how to store the energy from your solar panels. But the big part of this are what are called the gigapacks. And these are 1.5 megawatt boxes that they're selling to utilities all over the world to help utilities for this huge growing demand of power. And if Tesla can pull that off, and they've quietly applied for permits to be a utility already in Europe and Australia and North America. So this is real. It's happening as we speak. No one is growing as quickly as they are in that sector. That's something that investors, I think, are finally tuning into.
And then let's talk about the Robo-Taxi Day. That's coming up in about a month. August 8th is the date that we'll hear more about that. There was an analyst who put out a note, Wedbush put out a note talking about that. And the key to Tesla reaching $1 trillion valuation has to do with the expansion of the autonomous and full self-driving vision taking hold for Tesla. They see obviously the Robo-Taxi as being key to that. How important is the Robo-Taxi event to Tesla and its expansion?
Well, I think the Robo-Taxi event is huge. And the fact is, AVs have been overhyped for the last decade. And people keep saying it's going to change everything, it's going to be big. And others are saying, where the heck are they? But like a lot of things, including the smartphones, the growth curve goes like this, but when you hit that inflection point, it takes off. We're hitting that inflection point now. Don't take my word for it. You go to San Francisco tonight, or Phoenix, and soon Austin or Los Angeles, and get in a fully autonomous taxi with no driver. So this is coming quickly. Waymo has the incremental approach. Tesla has been capturing huge amounts of data. They've been improving their full self-driving capability, and they're getting pretty darn close to fully autonomous vehicles. Now, they don't have full regulatory permitting nationwide like Waymo has it in 4 cities going to 5 or 10, but they could be launching it in other parts of the world, possibly China. But when you're talking about Tesla's AI edge, it's not just the autonomous vehicles. They're also launching humanoid robots. I have seen the demos of these things. It's stunning. And if you begin to think about them using AI, not just for robotaxis, but to actually revolutionize and drop the cost for manufacturing, Tesla's got a lot going on that other auto companies just haven't gotten to first base on.
It does. It certainly caught a bid recently. I mean, the stock is barely above the flat line year to date. It had a lot of challenges ahead of the recent wins recently, so it's certainly one to watch for what's next, especially with the Robo-Taxi event coming up. We'll have to put a pin in our conversation for today. Steve Wesley, the Wesley Group, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great weekend.
You bet. Happy to be here.